Hi everyone. Today I kind of wanted to do a little bit of I guess I could call it a retrospective, about my first time doing Nano. And I know I probably did a video like this right after Nano, and it's currently the 17th of December, so I'm a little late on this, but I was working on my notes for Stand Up Obtain Control, which I did finish during November, and it gave me a lot of things to kind of think about. So, first off, one of the things that I want to kind of clarify is that during Nano, I wanted to focus solely on my Nano project, which I dubbed What Remains of Noah. I can't remember his last name. It's been too long since I actually worked on it, that I can't remember his last name. But basically, What Remains of Noah. Noah being the main character. And it was such a depressing, sad, and tragic story that I've never written anything like this. And I did not think that it would affect me as much as it did. And I don't think I understood the scale of the emotion I was putting into it until I looked back during my edits of Stand Up Obtain Control, which I did finish during that month. Now, the problem is that because of how I work, I cannot work on the same project for an entire month. What I do is I break up my month into two sections. Monday through Thursday, I will work on one project. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm either doing things I need to do during the week or I'm working on a secondary project. This way, I can finish at minimum 2 projects a month or so, depending on what it is. Now, the problem with Nano is that you have to work on it every day or you fall behind. And I was doing really well. I had set my personal goal for about 2,000 words a day so that I had enough to get me through Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, because of how emotional the story was, I did not take into account how it would affect my other work. Now, with Stand Up and Obtain Control, because I was working on it in tandem to working on my Nano project, some of the bleed off of the emotions that I was feeling during my Nano project bled off into my Stand Up Obtain Control novel. And normally when I feel something, I put it in the story because that's what needs to happen. Unfortunately, that backfired so hard on me in this one because the emotions that I was feeling and that I translated into my main character Piper were not accurate to what was actually going on. And there were so many parts when I was just so stuck that I didn't know what I was supposed to be feeling. I didn't know how to get to where I needed to be in my outline and where I needed to be in the story. And even though there was a lot of heavy emotions in this one, I felt so lost on how to actually articulate it. So I just put down whatever I could. And about halfway through Nano is when I started to realize that it's like I can't continue my Nano story. I need to finish Stand Up Obtain Control because I am within maybe several chapters of the end. And it reads like I'm literally running away from something. I literally threw out any kind of semblance of logic and anything. I just threw down what I was feeling, what I felt like needed to be said, and there are gems in there, but it is so hard to read and it is so hard to look at now. And I needed to do, because this month is my editing month for Stand Up Obtain Control, this was an absolute slog to get through. I literally did not finish my reading of this for 15 days. 15 days of trying to get through only 19 chapters. And these are not long chapters. My first drafts are always massively underwritten. It was hard to get through it because I did not realize the scale of what my Nano project had done. And getting shaky. It freaked me out because I always thought that I could separate myself from emotional projects like that. That nearly derailed this one. And I can't have that. So, my Nano project is only half finished. And it will probably remain that way until I have the time to actually devote to it. And I don't know when that's going to be. Because it nearly destroyed me. I knew it was going to be hard. I did not understand the scale of it. And I did not understand the emotional toll that it would take. So, because of the emotional upheaval that this story caused when it came to how book 3 was written, I am having to do a 100% rewrite of everything that I wrote. I'm literally having to start from square one. But I have a map. Because previously I had my outline, but my outline was not able to hold off what I was doing during my Nano project. It could not hold up to it. And that's my fault. I pushed myself and I got bit in the ass for it. So I am now having to go through and literally figure out every scene of what needs to happen from the previous story. What needs to happen, when it needs to happen, what information needs to be put in, and when it needs to be said. I am literally nitpicking everything down to what has happened. I'm ignoring most of I'm basically ignoring all the dialogue. I'm ignoring the nuances that I wrote in because it does not work. And I need to fix it. So, I have this month to get all my notes down. And then I have January, February, and I might push it through to March to try and get the story down. I'm hoping that I can get my beta readers the story by the end of March. I'd like it to be the beginning of March, but with how much I'm going to have to do, I am not going to push myself that hard. And I'm not happy about what happens. So, when it comes to doing Nano from this point on, more than likely I will not do it because it royally screwed up what I was doing. And anyone who can do it while doing other projects, I salute you because I cannot. Or at least if I'm doing projects, I can't do such emotional ones like I did. And I didn't even think that it would be as lasting as it was. And that was my bad. So I know this is kind of a late update, but my filming is kind of off just because my husband's schedule is kind of a little off kilter. So, and it being the holidays, it's always a little harder to get stuff out during that time. But I'm just hoping that this goes a lot better second time around. Now that I know the story, I know what needs to be done. I just wanted to go better than the first time around because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was not a good feeling. It was very much not a good feeling to not know. Like, I've pants stories. I was mostly a pantser for most of my writing, but this feeling was so unnerving that I felt like I couldn't write it. I felt like it was beating me. Even though I knew the story, I knew where I wanted it to go, but it's like it was just stopping me. And I didn't know why. Now I do. Because the story was literally screaming at me. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So now I'm hoping that I can fix it. Fingers crossed. So sorry for a little bit more of a serious video, but I've been kind of mulling over this in my head and deciding that Nano is not part of my writing process. It cannot be. If it was spread out over the course of 3 months, maybe. But that's just not how my writing works. And it sucks that I can't really be a part of it very much. But yeah, that's basically it. Alright, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.